All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the South Texas High School Baseball Podcast. We have a mega episode today. We've got three college baseball players out of Sinton, Texas. This was actually supposed to only be one, and then Jaquae was like, hey, do you want to have the Galvan twins on too? And so we knocked out three with one episode. So I'm here with the Galvan twins. I'm here with Jaquae Stewart. We're here in Sinton in their brand new athletic field house that has just opened recently. So thank you to Coach Troutman and Sinton ISD for letting us use the facility. We really appreciate that. And the way it's all worked out is really convenient and unexpected in a way. But we're here today. We're going to talk all things growing up baseball, high school baseball, college baseball, going the JUCO route, transferring to D1s. And so, we've got a lot in store for you guys. So we're excited to be here. And guys, thank you for coming on. I know that y'all are in the midst of getting ready to go back to school and probably doing some off-season training to an extent. But to kick it off, we'll have each of you just kind of introduce yourself, where you go to school, and what position you play. So we'll start with you, Jaquae.
Jaquae Stewart, go to the University of Texas. I'm a first baseman.
Rylan Galvan, University of Texas, and I'm a catcher.
Rene Galvan, UTRGV, and I'm an outfielder.
All right. So to kick it off, let's talk about baseball growing up. And just kind of my understanding is that all of you played together from a young age for most of your childhood years. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so whoever wants to take the lead here, just kind of talk about when you all started playing together and what those years were like, what kind of success you had and the traveling that you guys did, and some of the teammates that you may have had too.
We started playing at 5. We had a league here, Little League.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the Angels. So, that's pretty much where it all kicked off for us. Fortunately, we were fortunate enough to play with Blake Mitchell, and his father know a lot about baseball. So he was our coach for a good amount of time and still is. So, that's pretty much where it all started.
Yeah, I remember those early days. It was fun. It kind of all just fell into place where we were all on the same Little League team and started playing together when we were 5 and kind of realized, us 4, including Blake, we're all on that team. And Blake's dad kind of realized, we got some potential at a young age, hard to see. But so we all decided to move away from the Little League route and kind of take the travel ball route early on. So we got together on a little summer ball team, travel ball team when we were 6 or 7 years old, and just kind of took off from there. And I know me and Rene are a little older, so once we got to that age, me and Rene kind of split off from them, and it kind of took off from there. But that's probably the earliest I think we started playing together.
Okay.
Yeah, like all the way back to like with the Angels with T-ball, just playing with each other, and then like from that young age, just still friends off the field, just going, hanging out with each other every day, and just carrying it over, playing travel ball, growing up, and just really started from a young age, which just once we got into high school, it was just like nothing new.
Okay.
It was pretty cool.
So we just got a quick overview of your playing days together, when you guys started playing together in your childhood. What was the team name and that organization, and where were some of the places that you guys went?
So we were called the Sand Crabs.
Okay.
So it was a team that Kevin had played for when he was still playing. So he kind of brought that over to us, which I think is pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's like just carrying on the name. But we've been all over, man, from Florida to Georgia to Bama to New York, just pretty much all over the world. Indiana, that one really kind of amazed me. It's like, Indiana, that's going way up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We started playing with the Sand Crabs, and then, like I said, me and Rene were a little older, so we branched off into an organization called Slam Baseball with Mike Hernandez and Aaron Gonzalez, and we started playing with that group of guys. It was a bunch of guys from Corpus, Veterans Memorial, Ray, Carroll, all those group of guys from out there in Corpus, and we played with them all the way up to about 14, and then kind of branched off and started playing with an organization called 12 Baseball. At the time, they were out of Katy, Texas originally, and then I think our last couple summers we played with the organization out of Georgia. But yeah, from a young age, it was always those were our summers, right? And when we knew if we wanted to get where we wanted to be, we all had the same goal to be here where we're at today, and we knew if we wanted to get there, that's what it was going to take. And we weren't like ordinary normal kids where, you know, summertime just hanging out with friends and getting to go on vacation. Till this day, I've never been on
vacation. Just
never been on vacation.
Traveling and playing summer ball was just a vacation.
We've been on one vacation. We went to South Padre, I think it was 2 years ago, but he was playing summer ball.
Yeah.
So he still had to have a vacation. We were the only one. That was our
Got to go to South Padre, dude, and first vacation, didn't you know the act. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was just like, so this is what the life is like. You know what I mean? Like everybody else is going here, going there. It's like we're at the baseball field at 8 o'clock in the morning in the summer. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But I mean, you wouldn't have it any other way. Just still doing what we loved. I mean, just the dedication we had. So I mean, just to sacrifice our summers and all that. I mean, our parents sacrificing a lot and being able to go travel and play ball against great competition all around the country, and just, I mean, it paid off in the end to, you know, with where we're at now. I mean, still more to go, but it definitely was paid off so far. So.
Yeah, I understand the whole not many vacations there, because I think our vacations whenever I was playing and I was like 12, 13, 14, our vacation was going to Dallas for a tournament and then going to Laredo for a tournament. And then my little sister went to the Junior Olympics, and so we went to Houston for that. Yeah. And those were our vacations. We'd maybe spend an extra day there or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I totally relate to that. At any point, was the goal from the beginning for all of you to go to the same high school and dominate like y'all did?
Yeah, well, we're all from Sinton.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, as we're growing up and as we got into high school, there was always a lot of rumor like, oh, they all had this plan. They came from
like they recruited
places.
and stuff like that.
Grove now.
Yeah,
but no,
but
we're all originally from Sinton from a young age, and we knew that we were going to get this opportunity to all come here and do what we did, and so that was the plan from the get-go. That's what a lot of people don't realize is that was what we're working towards from first time we started playing together.
We kept playing together. I mean, and we got a little bit to around like 12 years old, 13, and we still had the same group going. So it was like, keep this going. We can be a pretty solid squad once we get up to high school, and it just all fell into place. Yeah. So, I mean, it was special for sure. At
any point, did any of you consider going to school elsewhere, or maybe like you don't realize, but maybe your parents almost like moved y'all almost moved for, you know, different like job reasons or anything?
I mean, my parents didn't say anything like that yet, or that I know of, but, you know, being, like I said, we were fortunate enough to have Kevin Mitchell and him knowing a lot of baseball. You know, like my dad's a hooper, my mom was the academic side, right? So it's like, you know, we don't know much, so just trusting what he said and like finally seeing it, you know, form together. And we were all fortunate enough to just stick together and, you know, come to the same high school and trust the process. Like that was the biggest thing is trusting the process, right? Yeah. And you know, y'all are good friends with Daniel and them, stuff like that. So like that was the only guy that we did not know or we did not play with. Yeah. When we were younger, right? Like Wyatt Beatrick played with or against, right? Cannon Chester played with or against.
Those are the only two guys that really came from.
Those are the only two guys that came.
But they came still at a young age. Yeah. Like it wasn't just in high school. Yeah. Yeah.
But we played with those guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the definition of homegrown. Yeah. Right? Like Corpus, you can move from this school to another. You can go down, right? Like this is a small town. I mean, you got 600 something kids in high school total. Yeah. You know, like this is homegrown. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Now, we always been from here, but I remember at one time me and Rylan and my family were talking about moving to Calallen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was at that point where Gene Kasprick had retired. Okay. And we didn't know who was going to be the head baseball coach. And at the point where Calallen was at the time. And I actually had a catching coach whose son had gone to Calallen, and they had been trying to get us to go over there. I think we were in middle school, 6th grade at the time.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get us to go to Calallen. But as soon, we had always had a relationship with Coach Alanese from a very early stages. So it was talked about, but it was never really taken serious.
Yeah.
And
I remember having, like, before Coach Anis was the head coach at here, he was like the assistant, and we had asked him like if I can do like pitching lessons and stuff. I think I remember him coming to my house and like doing pitching lessons at my house. So I mean, just when I was young, I was probably like 11.
Yeah.
And just that relationship from then, and then he became the head coach, and it was a no-brainer, just stay home, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to JoJo about this in our last episode that I did last week, but our team, I played with Mike, so Daniel's dad. So Mike was my coach for pretty much the entirety when I played, and it was like just the melting pot of kids from everywhere. Like it was kids from Orange Grove, from Mathis, from GP, from we had some kids that ended up going to vets. We had Brian Juarez from Calallen, ended up playing at St. Mary's. So it was just like a big mix, you know, a toss-up in a bag full of kids from everywhere. So we never really got that, like, you know, homegrown, get to see what it looks like in high school. But we played against a lot of teams that did. And it's so funny now thinking back to all the tournaments that I went to, because I remember seeing sand crabs around. Like I remember it was, I mean, at this point now I know it was y'all. But at the time I remember seeing like the SC, the South Carolina logo, like the sand crabs baseball, and like all these little kids, and like knowing now that was y'all, it's really cool to think about. Like y'all.
Yeah, even Walker Yannick, Malachi Lott,
Yeah.
you know, we had an organization, so they're part of that, which I think is pretty cool, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, you have 3 catchers that came from that organization. He's at the University of Texas. Blake's drafted. Walker's drafted. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is not something you get every day.
Yeah.
Especially from a small town, and you know, a town that's 15 minutes away, 10 minutes away.
Yeah. Are y'all pretty close with Walker?
Not really.
Not really.
I've had conversations with him here and there. I mean, obviously, knowing him growing up, and he was always a really good player and stuff like that. But I think the first conversation I had with him in a long time was this year when we played against them. They came to the dish, and
That's right. Yeah.
Houston came to the dish, and we played them then. But yeah, it was pretty fun to watch. I mean, obviously, in my opinion, he was the best catcher in college baseball this year, and I remember him. I knew they were going to come into town, so I was like, man, I need to watch him. Any little thing I can see, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to get better. We're all trying to learn. Yeah. And we all have the same goal. So I remember him coming into town and really being able to get to watch him, the way he carried himself, the way he did his work behind the plate. It was pretty cool.
Okay, so let's transition a little bit into your late junior high, early high school days. So what year were y'all when – was it y'all's freshman year that COVID hit? And
it was my freshman year there. So.
Yeah,
okay, so y'all's freshman year, what kind of success did y'all have as a team here at Sinton?
We had pretty good success. We went to the 4th round, I believe, of playoffs, lost to Liberty Hill, which they ended up moving up.
Yep.
They were 4 at the time. I think they're 5A now. But, yeah, I mean, if you look back, I mean, everybody kind of talks about and remembers, you know, obviously the state championship and our group. But if you look back down the line, there's a lot of tradition here. And there's a lot of success that has gone through here. And at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do is just carry on the tradition. Yeah. I remember coming to games and when I was younger and just watching those older guys and those really good teams that they had. I remember my 8th grade year, they went to state, and we went to every single playoff game, almost every regular season game, watched them, just idolizing them, just waiting for our chance to get on that field and, you know, put on the jersey and stuff like that. But, yeah, there's a ton of success that freshman year, a lot of good players. We played with Braden Brown, but my freshman year we played with his older brother, Brett. He was here. and a lot of good memories that year. That was a really fun group.
It was a fun year. The first year in high school, that group we're freshmen on varsity. Those older guys like Braden's brother Brett and a couple other guys kind of put us under their wing, and they like understood the tradition and what goes on around here, so kind of taught us that. And I mean, we just kept carrying that every year that we were here. Yeah. But yeah, like when we were in 8th grade, just that run they had to the state championship, going all the playoff games. Like I remember the Robstown series, and it was like me, Rylan, Cannon. I think Jaquae was there, Braden, and us. All of us watching that game is just like, dang, dude, I want us like, that's what we want once we get up there into that level. And then it was just the tradition. So I mean, it was fun to see them do it, and then just our goal, what we wanted when we got in high school.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say you guys did a pretty solid job carrying on the tradition while y'all were here. Okay, so what was it like? How frustrating was it sophomore year not getting able to play a full season? And it was your freshman year, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, just wanting to play for the program, right? All the history behind it, the people that have come through the program. So it's like, you finally get the chance to do it. And, it's just, sad that it's taken away, right? But I feel like that kind of gave us the opportunity to grow our freshman year, right? So, like, just that, not being able to do anything, right? Like, you have to be home, but you have to be doing some type of work, right? So, from throwing the ball off the mailbox to taking ground balls off of that, stuff like that, right? Like, I feel like that gave us kind of that extra push and that extra determination to become great, right? Because we all have to do our separate thing. So at the end of the day, coming back together for that next season, like you just kind of knew who was putting in work and how you did it, right? Because you can't take 5 to 6 months and like you'll be okay. Yeah. Like baseball's a hard game. You take a week off, you swing to the field, right? So it's just everybody doing their own individual work. Right, I feel like that's what kind of molded us into the players that we were. Yeah, is just taking that time off and then finding yourself in the game, because like you can't be at the field, so you have to, improvise, do some other stuff. Yeah. So I feel like that's what kind of made us mature a little bit more too. Is, doing all the extra little things to stay in the game. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember early on, like when that COVID hit, I was actually kind of excited. Because at that time I was going through an arm injury, a shoulder injury, and I didn't play. I hadn't played at all up until that Victoria tournament when everything got stopped. So I hadn't been playing. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna get a couple weeks off. They're gonna shut down for a couple weeks. By then I'll be back. I'll be 100%, and we'll go right into this thing, right? And then, I mean, obviously it played out the way it did. It didn't take 2-3 weeks. It felt like 2 years, but and being hurt and stuff, I was a sophomore, and after our freshman year, it was a bunch of older guys on the team. So me and Rene were kind of like the only, I would say, older guys. So just being able to watch and just see the young talent on the field, and we knew we had the potential, and from an early age, like we said. This was the plan from the get-go. Yeah. And, that's what a lot of people don't understand is this wasn't just an overnight thing to where, they're all really talented and they met in high school and then they got the talent and that's how they did it, right? No, it was from early age, and we worked from 10, 11, 12 years old to when we were 16, 17, 18 in high school, right? So I think that's the kind of people don't really understand, and they kind of just expect things like that to happen, but it was definitely a lot of work. But that COVID year was pretty crazy and frustrating for sure.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I think we still had a pretty good shot to make a run at it that year too, with the group that we had. Like, and if we can make it to that year, I don't think we lose our sophomore year. Just having that experience of being there, because our junior year if we made our sophomore year, getting back to our junior year against Rusk, I think we have that 1 year of experience there in that atmosphere, and then I don't think.
We were actually talking about that with Kevin Mitchell the other day, and we're like, if that COVID year doesn't happen, we make it to the state championship sophomore year, And junior year, we don't lose. We have 2 state championships.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
I just feel like it
Which
would
would've-
have taught us
yeah.
to slow the game down. A little
Mhm,
bit. You know,
yeah.
it's- you turn around and it's like 7,000 fans.
Yeah.
You don't see that often, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's going to speed everything up. But I talk about this with my family a lot. It's like we trained 15 years, 15 years to get where we are now. Think about it, right? Like since 5. And with, like I said, us having Kevin Mitchell as a coach, like he's a guy that takes things serious,
Oh yeah.
right? So, I mean, we're 8, 9. He's in our faces, getting us ready for this point, right? And I'll never forget him telling us at practice, I'm trying to get y'all ready for the locker room talks. I finally experienced the locker room talk, and it was nothing new. So it's like I said, like just training 15 years to get where we are now. Like you said, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
So just like I just think about it, 15 years is a pretty long time
Yeah.
to get where you are now, and still working. Like we're still trying to get to the next level, and then the people that are in the system at the next level are trying to get to the bigs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really 20 something years, trying to get ready.
Yeah.
That's it.
So then we'll jump into your junior year, or I guess your junior year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, your sophomore year, right? The
When
year
we
that
won?
when y'all lost to Rusk.
Oh
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
my sophomore.
His sophomore year, our junior.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So that season, obviously, you guys are what, top 5 all year
Yeah, I
long,
think we're top 5.
something like that. You guys make it to the state semifinals, and you play Rusk. Talking about slowing the game down, what do you guys think went wrong in that game?
I feel like defense.
Yeah. Just trying to do too much in the
trying to
moment.
do
Like
too
we got
much.
finally made it there. We're there. I think we're definitely by far the more talented, better put together team. Just baseball is a funny sport. Anybody can beat anybody when you get to that point. But it was just trying to do too much, really.
Yeah. I feel like they had more energy than us too.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one of their players scored, and he's looking at our dugout and our fans, playing with energy, him being himself, right? And I'll never hate on that because, like, that's him, that's how he is. That's what he has to do to create energy, to beat us. We're everybody's World Series, right? For them, that was their state championship,
Yeah.
not the semifinal game. That was their championship, right? So with them, they had way more energy than us. Way more, right? And unfortunately, our fans had way more energy than us too, right? It happens like that, right? Like you said, though, baseball is a funny game, but I feel like that's what, that's where we had to learn, like, we can't come out flat anymore.
Yeah.
So I know that next year, every game, no matter who it was just, we're on go. We're going to be on 10 no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you see everybody coming out the dugout yelling, even if it's West Oso, Taft, whatever, the smaller schools, like, we don't care. Because at the end of the day, West Oso and Taft, they can beat us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny game. Ingleside almost beat us.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, 1-0 to the 7th inning. Like, just things happen. So I think that was a big eye-opener for us. We can't come out flat no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, and you go through different things like that. And I think us losing that semifinal was the best thing that happened, going into that senior year. Who knows, we win that year, then we're not as hungry and as ready to get after it that senior year. Maybe something slips up, we don't, and, but everything, at the end of the day, looking back, that's the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
We lost that Rusk game, and then the next day, Coach on East took us back and made us sit there and watch the state championship game. Yeah.
It was terrible.
We were all just so mad to be there, but I mean, I guess it was all part of his plan. Just to have us have that fire the next year, going into the next year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's not a real vocal person that gets mad. I guess. And obviously, he's a coach, he's going to coach you up, right? But he's not one to get in your face and do it, right? I think that was his, little point right there. Like,
That was his way of getting in your face.
If you don't want it, I'm gonna make you want it.
Yeah.
We sat there for the whole game, watched the dog pile is what got us.
Yeah, watch the
We
dog
were
pile.
pissed
Yeah.
after the dog pile.
I'll be honest, I was so mad I didn't watch the game. I sat on my phone and watched YouTube videos probably the whole game. But then I looked up and saw the dog pile, and I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, and I think we carried that to the summer ball too. Like everybody had a good summer ball year that year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from Blake, to him going to area code. You know, them playing with East Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just I feel like we carried that. We handled it pretty well. We thought about the next year.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, why are we gonna go through that pain again of watching somebody else dogpile when we know it's supposed to be us?
Yeah. Because who won that year?
Pleasant Grove.
Pleasant Grove. That's right.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? It's like you lose to a team and they're playing with more energy, just for them to come out flat that next game.
Yeah.
Not win. Like that's what got me. It's like they had, like I said, it was their state championship. We were their state championship.
Mm-hmm.
Happens.
Man. Okay, so then you guys have a great summer individually. You two played for the East Cobb Astros that year.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So yeah, that kind of came about. Their head coach of the organization reached out to my advisor and was like, "Hey, we would like Rylan and Rene to come play for this team or whatever." And at that point, talking it over with family and stuff, we figured that was the best thing to do, was to go out to Georgia. Everybody knows that's where the summer ball,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, Florida. That's where teams from South Texas and the Texas area. That's where they go and play, and it's
a big competition.
So just to be able to get on the scene and get in front of the right group of people and on a good solid team like that. I think we had two or three guys from that team go in the first round.
Yeah.
Tamar Johnson was on that team. He went in the first round. Dylan Lesko, I want to say, went in the second or something.
Cam
like
Collier.
that. Cam Collier.
Yeah.
Two of those players were just in the All-Star Futures game.
Wow.
Yeah. So just to be able to surround yourself with those type of players at the end of the day is going to make you better, and that was the whole reason behind it. Just get around the best competition, see where you're at, and just continue to get better at the end of the day.
And whenever y'all went over there, did y'all stay with like a host family or?
Yeah,
Host family.
Yeah, one of the players on the team lived in Marietta, Georgia.
Okay.
So we stayed, and actually, me and Rene actually stayed in their basement for 2 months.
His name was Charlie
Jones.
Charlie Jones.
He's a baseball player at Air Force right now, and I had the privilege to be able to play against
him, right?
And it's always a privilege to have those guys come into town. They do it the best, and it's always fun playing against them. But yeah, he plays with Air Force, and we lived with him, and it was really just us three in this big old house because his parents were off in like France or something, traveling a lot.
Oh wow!
So it was us three, and he had his house, whatever, and we had a nice basement set up for us, and living in a basement for 2 months. But that's the grind. That's what you got to do, and that's what we did.
It wasn't no ordinary basement either. It was couches,
it had
pool
couches,
table,
had a little bar set up.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's nice. And Jaquae, that summer, who did you play with? Was it 12?
I played with 12, yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yes, sir.
And then did you also make area code that year?
So that's my sophomore year.
You did, right?
Going into senior year?
Yeah, that's your sophomore.
Yeah, no. I played for area code going into my senior year.
Okay, so that was the next year. Okay, so senior year comes around. You guys are like the consensus number one overall because you only graduated,
one guy.
Daniel?
Yeah, Danny.
Scooter.
Trev.
And you guys didn't really lose much there. Daniel was slow. Hear that, Daniel?
That's wrong.
But okay, so senior year comes around. Y'all are like, all eyes are on Sinton High School baseball. Obviously, knowing the expectations, there's a level of pressure, but also you guys are fired up, having seen that dog pile, knowing that it should have been y'all.
Yeah.
What is the mentality going into senior year? Like first day of practice comes around.
Just locked in, just ready to go.
Get paid. Like that was literally the quote. I'm not lying. No.
Nah.
Like, literally was get paid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, obviously we can't get paid, but
Yeah. But it was just the mentality going into every practice. Like, I mean, we had to get coach on. He's just to make us leave. Like he was like, come on guys, I got a family to go to and stuff. But I mean, we're just out there another hour, just getting extra work in and stuff. But
hitting with Kevin after practice, like we would hit before practice. No, we would lift before practice. practice, and then we would hit right after practice. So I think that's what kind of separated us from everybody else. It's just putting in the extra work when, a lot of people didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think that was, because not everybody wants to go hit at 8:30 at night and finish at 9:45, 10 o'clock, right? Like, you got school the next morning. You eating dinner at almost 11.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think that's what separated us. It's just grinding like that,
Yeah, and I think you say there's, like you said, there's pressure going into that year. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think not one time we felt that pressure. Because at the end of the day, like, we grew up together. We knew we were going to eventually get to that spot, right? We were just having fun. And that if you watched us play that year, that group was so close that, I mean, every day we just wanted to get around each other, and we just wanted to hang out, and we just wanted to play. At the end of the day, we loved this game, and all we wanted to do was just play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just playing, having fun, and not really knowing what we were doing as far as, like, the type of impact we were having.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the main thing. Is just we love being around each other. We love playing with one another. And at the end of the day, we all love to compete. And I say it like, with the amount of talent that we had on the roster, the most competition we got was in practice.
Mm-hmm.
And we the practices were taken harder and more serious than at times a game. And I remember we were doing live at bats, or we doing inter squad, and Coach Alanis, the mastermind behind it, would split us up on different groups and get us away from each other to where we had to compete against each other. And I think at the end, when you look back at it, what made that team so special and so good were the practices. Mm-hmm. And those are kind of the behind the scenes things that a lot of people don't know about. But obviously they see us go out on a Tuesday or Friday night and go out and dominate or whatever and stuff like that. But while we're dominating, we were just having fun because we had prepared so well, and our practices were so intense that when we got out there together as a group, we were just having fun playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, the competitiveness on the team, right? We played this game all the time called backside game, and he split us up. And it's like you have to hit a ball the other way, right? So training like that, not many. Like nowadays, now people are training that, hit the ball the other way, right? But just doing that and forcing yourself to go the other way. And if you don't do it and you roll one over and you're hearing it from the other guy.
Yeah, it was making it fun and making it a competition. It was.
But that's like the type of stuff that we would do is just, everything was competitive from fielding.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss a ground ball, you got to do something, right? Like,
just pushing each other,
fun,
yeah.
But it was competitive.
There are some times where it got a little too far.
Yeah, I got a little chirpy.
Had to put it in check, but no, that was. I think you look back from it now, and winning the state championship was fun, but if I had to do it all over again, I would just want to go back for the practices.
Yeah, and that was
just to be around each other and hang out. Like Jaquae said, and Rene can kind of talk about it too. Like, we were with each other 24/7 that year.
I imagine all the time.
Jeremiah, we had to give a shout out to Jeremiah.
Give him a shout out to Jerry for sure.
We would not have the team.
That dude. Some guys say the rock of the squad.
And that was a guy behind the scenes that didn't play much, didn't get a lot of action on the field. But if you ask a lot of guys on that team, who made that team and who kept that team together, is Jeremiah Molina.
But he did everything with us, though. I mean, no matter if you saw the field or not, it was, we're gonna go hit after practice. Okay, and he comes with us.
He came to hit, even though he wasn't going to hit in the game, or he knew he wasn't going to come get on the spot. But that was just that team. We love to be with each other, and
that was our golden piece like there. Like that dude, best teammate.
Yeah, he made it fun for sure.
Yeah,
best teammate. I mean, goofball, always get in trouble, like just best teammate ever.
Yeah, we did do a lot of stuff together. Got in trouble together, on and off the field, just with each other 24/7. And another thing, like Rylan was saying, just our practices were just so intense that it just made the game easier just to go out and have fun, which led to like that one game we had at Whataburger Field in front of 7,000 fans, but we still didn't feel much pressure, even though a lot of us had never played in front of an atmosphere like that.
Yeah.
Just the practices and how it prepared us for moments like that, which was
We knew we're also competitive, and we knew any team or any other player that we stepped on the field with, we're better than you, and that was our mentality. And it didn't matter who we played, whatever. It was like, we're better than you. We know that, and we're gonna show you.
Yeah. I mean, we got to give kudos to Lampkin, right? I mean, hell of a pitcher, right? I mean, guy fills up the zone. Best pitcher in South Texas, obviously, in high school. But it's like, no, like you said, we're better than you, right? We're going to try to get it. And we also played with Lampkin, too. We played with him and against him. But it's just, competitiveness, the practices, the live at-bats, facing Blake, facing Wyatt, right? It was nothing new. So we knew, forget the crowd, right? You got to play without it. So just playing on the field and having fun, not even worried about winning. Obviously, we're worried about it, but it's not like, extra pressure. It's just go out there, have fun, do your thing. Do what you've been doing. And I feel like that showed. I mean, everybody's hitting, putting the ball in play. Wyatt pitched a hell of a game. And I feel like that's what separated us, too. It's just we didn't add extra pressure. We weren't worried about winning. We were just worried about doing our job and having fun.
Yeah.
Because that'll all come. When you do your job and if you have fun, you're winning. That's it.
So then let's talk about the state championship game. You guys win 9-0.
9-0.
Y'all won the semifinal and the championship 9-0. So you'll beat Salina and then you'll beat Argyle.
Yeah.
And y'all finished the year 37-1.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was the dog pile just so much better knowing that y'all had to?
Oh yeah,
for
100%.
sure. For sure.
That whole trip to the state tournament was pretty unique. Obviously, it was business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was our last chance to do what we had been talked about doing since we were 9-10 years old with that group, with those group of guys, right? So, like Jaquae said, 15 years of training, however long it was, came down to one game, and that was pretty special, and a memory that I'm sure we'll hold on until we're 6 feet deep.
yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Just only our parents knew, right, how much work we put in. Coming home late, they're tired, they got work, stuff like that. So just, putting in the extra work without anybody knowing and then it paying off, it's the best feeling because, baseball is not always a rewarding game.
Mm-hmm.
You can work so hard, your swing it feels so right, and then the next game you're 0 for 4, right? So it's just finally, putting in the work, definition of late nights, that the dog pile, it was just like you just feel relieved.
Yeah, it was a surreal moment, really, because I got to, from my point of view, running from. Actually, I didn't. No, I did. I ran from center field. 'Cause I remember I had that shoulder injury, and against. But I ran out from center field, just seeing everybody. I kind of had a chance to step back and just watch everybody and the fans and all that, and it just it hit deep. Yeah. And I was running out to the dog pile crying.
Yeah.
It was the state championship that you made that diving catch, right?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That was me.
That's when Jaquae was on the mound.
Yeah, the ball down.
I remember you made the catch and I was like, yeah, that's game.
I'll talk about Rene for a little while, and he mentioned his shoulder injury. A lot of people don't know, and probably still don't know to this day, that he was battling. What would you have? Ended up having a torn labrum?
I had a torn labrum and 2 tears in my labrum and a tendon in my rotator cuff.
Yeah,
torn.
so he was playing hurt the entire time and couldn't throw, and was playing center field.
That's why he had to toss that ball to him.
And it was
okay.
so when I was catching, Blake would play short, and when he was catching, I would play short.
Yeah.
So Coach Alanish was like, hey, and got together with me, Rene, and Blake, and Coach Alanish, and Coach Alanish was like, just kind of the way the lineup set up, like we needed him in center field with the DH and stuff like that, and he was like, if Rene gets the ball out there, either you or Blake has to sprint almost to center field
and I
he's
just
gonna
tossed the
chunk it
ball
you,
to him.
and you got to get it in.
Yeah.
So
There was
we
this
had
time-
actually practiced it in practice. Like Coach Anise would hit Fungo out to center field, and
Yeah, in the
Rene would
gaps.
catch it or in the gaps or something, and me and Blake were sprinting out there, and
Yeah.
it was just like you chunk it and you just got to let it go.
I remember there was a runner on second in the Calallen game at Whataburger Field, and there was a
Rylan.
base hit, and I ran up to field it, and I just tossed it to Rylan. I'm like, dude,
And-
if you knew, you could have
Yeah.
easily scored.
And Calallen, it was funny because nobody really picked up on it. I don't think really anybody knew it was really
Yeah.
kept low. It was hush hush. But like that guy at second, like if you knew Rene had a hurt arm,
You
you're
would have
standing up scoring.
Yeah,
But he doesn't. He just stops at third because Rene acting like he's gonna throw it home.
yeah.
But,
But,
he
like,
had no intention of throwing.
Just riding like that surreal moment in the state championship game. I think there's a play because I had that injury. Like my shoulder was pretty tore up, but there was a play where there's a runner on second, like Rylan tries to backpick the guy, or there was a runner or something happened where there a play at the plate. I get the ball up and I'm like, state championship game. I let it eat and I throw it. I'm like, dang, that felt good. And like I didn't feel a thing. I was just the adrenaline, just a
Yeah.
moment. Like it was crazy. But I mean, that next day I couldn't even pick my shoulder up. But,
Yeah, boys feeling it.
We've mentioned a little bit about Lambkin and Calallen. Talk about the Calallen, somewhat of a rivalry now that
Yeah.
you guys had in high
yeah,
school.
formed.
You know,
But,
it's just not right, man.
It's not like he want to cry or something, but nah, it was it was pretty cool to have two teams from the same area, really pretty much back to back years compete to make it to a state championship or the state tournament. But that just goes to show the type of talent that's here in South Texas. Like the two schools from the same area in South Texas competing to go to the state tournament. It's just, and it's getting like London now.
Yeah.
There's more teams. It really brought out the talent in our area, which is very deserving of South Texas.
15 minutes away. You got
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
1 and 2. Like, I feel like that's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you
Yeah.
could have been playing against them.
I know, that's crazy. Like, what's up with that, man? I'm gonna have to have a talk.
I mean, we was young.
We'll talk about it off camera, but
Come on.
no, it was pretty that whole because I remember it dated back to our junior year, his sophomore year when we were supposed to play at Whataburger Field, but the
Yeah.
game got rained out,
Rained out.
moved to Laredo. That was a pretty fun game.
Hot.
It was
It was hot.
Hot.
And then that next year, following it up, it was just like we knew we were going to handle business, right? We were going to get there, and we're in a way pulling for Calallen. We're like, we
Yeah,
want
this
to
should-
play Calallen and
This
to
would
get to
make
the
for a
game,
crazy setup.
Like,
Like,
like this is we want to give this to South Texas. Like let's
Make a statement, man.
let's get there. Let's get them there. Let's do it. And it ended up working out, and it was probably one of the. I mean, it's a game that'll probably go down in South Texas baseball history.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And but it was pretty fun, and just going throughout that game, and like we talked about earlier, I mean, 8,000 people in the stands, and all we were really doing was having fun, And,
Doing our
that's what
thing,
made
yeah.
it special.
Yeah.
yeah, like Rodden said, like we just wanted Calallen, pulling for Calallen to win, and just we knew we were gonna handle business. Like tell them about that, the jumping into the pool.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
that
so-
was
Yeah, this is probably the first time it's
Oh,
been
yeah,
said.
dude.
No,
Oh.
this is probably the first time it's been said, but that was pre-planned. That wasn't something that was just happened.
Uh-huh.
So like 3 days before that, during the week, during practice sometime, we had like a little meeting after practice, and I said, and Coach Anders was like, anybody got anything? I was like, when we win this effing thing, I was like, we're jumping in the pool.
that's a pool party.
It's a pool party, and Coach Anders was like, no. All the guys really didn't take me serious.
Yeah, I was,
And-
man.
Okay, if you
Knowing Rylan, like he's gonna want to do something crazy, and you just have to.
You gotta ignore him sometimes. The next thing you know, I catch the pop line. I turn around, I'm like, dude.
Because Rylan had
if
gone
you
up
look
to-
back, if you look back at that video, I'm not the first one that got to the pool, but if you watch it, I was the first one that went. and I had to stop and take off my catcher's gear.
Yeah.
But I was the first one that took off.
Yeah.
And I guess Rene saw me take off, and he was like, "All right, we're doing this thing." So
Yeah, I'm in the outfield, kind of like backpedaling. Like I knew that was Rylan's idea, but I kind of didn't want to be the one to like go for it. And then I just saw Rylan just start taking off, sprinting. I turned around, I'm like, "Let's go!" But it was during pregame, Rylan's warming up with the pitcher, and the guy that does 364 Sports Quick. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
He's sitting out there. They got the section at the pool, and he like lets him know. He's like, "Hey, we win this thing. We're coming for y'all. Like, we're gonna get in the pool and stuff." Yeah.
That's why everybody was on
So they got
recording.
cue with the recording. Like they were recording, and then they're like, "Here they come, here they come," and then it's just cool seeing where that video went. Like it blew up. It was like on Instagram, Sports Center stuff. It was wild.
Yeah. But that kind of game, I felt like it meant something though, right? I mean, it just meant so much, just to make that statement, right? Like we all said, we're competitive, right? Like we want it more than everybody else, and I feel like we wanted it more than them, right? Like they had so much hype, they had some type of an ego. It's like, man, like if only y'all knew like what was gonna happen. And next thing you know, I mean, just the work that led up to that. You know what I mean? The extra time in the cage, with Kevin and stuff like that. Like even Kevin, just telling us like, no, y'all gotta get it. If y'all don't win, I'm gonna be pissed. All right, so like that, just that goes a long way too, right? Because it's like the hitting sessions were more intense that whole week.
Yeah.
Everything was
That
intense,
whole
man.
week, like it was so intense.
We had that
didn't even
feeling.
worry about school, man.
We had that sense of feeling like we thought that Calallen felt like they were entitled to something or whatever, and we were just that kind of lit a fire too. But I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Just like we said, the work that went into it that whole week, like.
And just to bring that setting to South Texas,
Yeah.
just kind of show the rest of the state really like, hey, this is South Texas baseball, and it's for real down here. But yeah, that was a pretty fun game.
Yeah, I feel that's pretty cool though. Like always, South Texas being that, having such good talent. I feel like that's pretty cool to me. It's just you drive 45 minutes and you have a hell of a lot of good baseball players.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like I feel like you can't, obviously the Houston area, Dallas, but it's like Corpus. Like, it's crazy how much talent is around that area. That's insane.
And I feel in a way it's kind of finally getting the respect it kind of deserved. I know for a long time there was some really good players out here, guys who can really play at the next level.
Before us, like
yeah.
there's still big names.
Yeah, and they just weren't getting that opportunity, or maybe college coaches weren't really coming down here as much. But I think it's kind of blew up a little bit, and you're starting to see
Especially
a lot more
London,
guys
too.
take it higher.
Yeah.
Aiden Salinas, hell of a ball player, and dude's young. Right, like that London team is. I think they're gonna go back again. Like, they got a lot of talent. A lot of talent.
It's funny because I've been a photographer for the Hooks this is my third year, and so I have a media pass. So any high school game that was there, I could just like show up. Like I didn't have to tell them I was coming. I could just show up if I wanted to. So I would always go to y'all's games there, and it was like a given that if there was a playoff game for anybody, I was going to go. And
Kind of let all the other media and reporters like, hey, Marcus Roddy coming.
But it was so funny because like knowing the staff, the year after y'all jumped in the pool, they were like, no one's getting in the pool this year.
Yeah,
They're like, we got the pool on lock.
I think London played that game after us, right?
I think
I
so.
believe
Yeah.
so. And Landon Salinas texted me. He's like, dude, we want to jump in the pool. I was like, do it. And he was like, no, we don't get in trouble. I think so. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but after they win, I think the cops kind of block it off.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it.
I mean, didn't y'all play there to go to state again that next year?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played
Against Bernie, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Y'all never thought about going back at it?
They tell y'all no before the game.
We wanted to, but it's just, we just decided not to because me and Blake got thrown out that game anyways.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now that's also another team though that we've always wanted is Bernie. So if it wasn't Calallen, it was Bernie, right? Because Bernie, when we played, they were solid.
Yeah, because they had Cole Phillips before he
Sean Galloway,
had surgery. Yeah.
Tyler Garitano.
That one kid that went to Wichita.
Yeah. Him, like they were solid.
Very good
I
squad.
mean, like,
They actually beat us. I want to say his sophomore year or junior.
Yeah, the first game
we played them in round
put it
2.
on.
Oh,
or
that's right.
3.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Against
Cole
Cole.
Phillips pitched, and they actually beat us in a one-run game. I want to say.
Yeah.
They just.
And he was at the time, like, after all that, like, the next year, he was throwing 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like 90.
was throwing 100 miles
He was
an
like
hour.
88, 92, 93,
Yeah.
and the next thing you know, the next year he's like 100. Like, damn, okay.
Yeah, hats off to him though. He's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That dude worked his butt off though.
he was.
But yeah, that's another team that we wanted. It's just Bernie, and then Salina. Obviously, me and Blake know a lot of guys.
Yeah.
That area.
Mhm.
So I felt that one was a little special to us too when we beat them. Yeah. So
Okay, so now that we've talked mostly about pretty much everything high school, let's kind of backtrack just a little bit and talk about each of your recruitment to play in college, and also to preface that, when did y'all decide that y'all wanted to play baseball specifically in college? Because I imagine y'all did y'all get any interest to play football, or was it only always baseball?
Yeah, I had some interest in playing.
You can go first.
Yeah, I've played football, and I never really played football until, what was it, junior high?
yeah,
Middle school.
Middle school or junior high. And, well, I mean, the goal was always to growing up, play baseball. So, like, everybody, like, getting into high school, once we started getting pretty good at football as well, I mean, everybody asked us, like, what did you rather do? What would you rather do? But, I mean, baseball, I had love for football, and it made me into the type of person I am today, but baseball has always been the passion. So, but no, I had, like, Kingsville and Air Force for football, but I always knew I wanted to do what I loved and play baseball.
Yeah.
Talk about your recruiting process. We're gonna go down the line, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like my recruiting process through high school was not as big as these guys. I mean, like I had battled a lot of injuries through high school. I had the COVID. I had a stress fracture, like my L5 in my back, which cut me out a year. Then COVID. Then junior year, I still had
your only healthy year.
might have been my only healthy year, but I still had something happen. And then senior year was a shoulder injury. So I was going into college with the shoulder injury.
Okay.
So, but I mean, it's all part of God's plan, you know. Where I'm at now and where I was, it's all exactly where I was supposed to be. And I'm blessed and grateful for it.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So if you hadn't have gone to Tyler to play, where would you have gone, and what other schools were interested?
I mean, not very much. Just really with the injuries, and where I was at, I mean, I just felt like the JUCO route was the best thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think it was, definitely. But I had like the local schools around, some schools in Texas, but that's just discussing it with my family and stuff. Going that JUCO route, going to Tyler was the best thing for me. I grew up a lot over there too, so
Okay.
great people over there, great head coach. Grew up a lot off the field.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. That's great. And so then you spent 2 years there.
2 years there, and now I'm headed down back home, closer to home, to the Valley.
Yeah.
Valley boy, you know.
What was that recruiting like? Getting picked up by them?
It was fun. I got recruited in the fall because like JUCO, you play a whole.
Yeah.
You got like pretty much 2 seasons.
Yep.
You got a fall season and a spring season. I got recruited by them in the fall, and then they finally, like in the spring, they were watching me. Finally reached out at the end of the spring, going into summer ball, and I knew White had the connection with White over there and stuff. So, I mean, with White being over there as well as getting closer to home, a lot easier for family because I was 7 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's not ever easy. Like my whole JUCO, like my parents rarely got to come out and watch games. I never really came down here and played. So coming back closer to home and as well as getting able to reconnect with Wyatt, I mean, No brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all will get some big crowds down there for baseball.
Yeah.
I think y'all
Baseball's
get, what,
big down there,
5,000
They
plus on
average
any
around
given
four to five a night.
Yeah.
So.
I whenever they announced that RGV joined the Southland, I made the video that they put on social media for the conference that was basically announcing that they joined the conference, and I got a lot of footage from them that was sent to me of like drone footage of their stadium, and I was like, this is a packed stadium.
Yeah,
This is
it's a lot
crazy.
nicer than I actually expected it to be going before I went on my visit. I'd never been down there to a ball game over there, and I got there and I was like kind of shell shocked, like, dang, they got this over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was nice.
Yeah, it was crazy to see. Like, I had gone with him too, and just seeing the stadium and stuff like that. Like, this ain't no ordinary mid-major type deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty nice and holds a lot of people. They get about the same amount of fans we average, almost. I want to say
Yeah,
it's a good environment for sure.
Will y'all play each other this year?
yeah,
Yeah.
we will.
I think y'all usually
Me
do,
and
right?
Wyatt get to go down to the dish, and if the schedule's not like I know aren't official yet, but it's something I saw when I went on there to my visit that they discussed about going to the dish.
Yeah.
So I mean that'll be cool. That'll be a good thing for Sinton to go see us alumni and get to play each other at the
Yeah.
Division I level.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay, and then Rylan, talk about yours. I know you committed to Texas pretty early on.
Yeah, my recruiting process started pretty early. I want to say 8th grade was we took our first unofficial visit to TCU and then to Houston, U of H. But in the back of my head, I always knew I wanted to go to Texas. And obviously having Coach Alanis as a mentor from a very early young stage. And Toby over there is cracking. But having Coach Alanis as a mentor and kind of going through high school under him, and he kind of made it pretty easy for me. A lot of the things that he did as a coach, he went to Texas, so he brought along a lot of the culture and a lot of stuff that Augie Garrido did when he was there to his coaching style and the way he coached and the way he kind of ran our program with as far as like culture and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to be a pretty easy transition for me, and it was something I always wanted to do. And I got my first call. I think the rules are a little different now. I don't think you can talk to a college coach until your first day of your junior year.
Something like
So
that.
I don't think the early recruiting stuff like that is happening anymore. But I got my first call from Texas early on in my freshman year.
Okay.
And then they offered me after. I remember we lost my freshman year. We lost against Liberty Hill in round 4, and then like the next day or 2 days later, we were on the way to Franklin, Texas to go play. We had already started travel ball, and on the way up there, Sean Allen, who was the recruiting coordinator at the time, gave me a call and they offered me. So I kind of let it play around for a while, see just what happened, and then I remember they offered me on the drive up there, and then Coach Pierce and Sean Allen and Philip Miller were at the game later that day in Franklin and came and watched me play. So that was pretty cool. And they offered me, watched me play that summer, and then I ended up committing to Texas later on that summer. Before my sophomore year.
Did they call you or did they call your parents? And did they call your phone?
No, it was kind of like you had to do it at the time where it was like you would like text them like, hey, give me a call. I would have to text them like, hey, calling in 5 minutes, because I don't think they could talk to you or something like that. It was like, I'm gonna give you a call in 5 minutes. So they're kind of expecting it, and then I would call them because they would, I guess, with the whole travel ball coaches and everything like that, the travel ball coaches had more contact with the coaches. So like they got ahead of my Coach Alanis or in my travel ball coach, and we're like, hey, like we want Rylan to give us a call or whatever. So tell him, relay the message, and let us know when he's gonna call, and then we'll be ready to answer and stuff like that.
So you knew it was coming.
I didn't know the offer was
You
coming.
didn't know the offer was coming, but you
I
knew
knew
you
they
were gonna-
wanted me to talk to them because I had been communicating with them for pretty much that entire freshman season, and it was just kind of like when I got off the phone with him, it was like, hey, give me a call next week and let me know, text me. So it was like I was talking to them every week, and it was just like, hey, I'm gonna call you 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So that's kind of how we communicated, and then Dad just said like, hey, like we want him to call us, and then I called him, and then they offered it me, and that was going down.
Sweet, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What other schools did
So
you
I got
consider?
I got this be bad, but I considered Texas A&M. And the funny thing is, coming out of high school, or at the time they had offered me a better scholarship. A&M did. It was pretty much everything, and I called. I remember that happened, and I was like, dang, like I want to go to Texas. So I called my travel ball coach and Coach Alnice and stuff like that, and I was like, told my coach like, hey, like if there's any way you can talk to Texas, like tell them this is what A&M did, this is what they're giving me. Tell them I want to come to Texas, but at the same time, you know, I want to take care of my family, put my parents in the best situation as far as like financial reasons and stuff like that. So, and then they offer me, and Texas calls me about 30 minutes later, and they bump up their offer. And then they were kind of playing. I kind of used it as leverage, as A&M as leverage, knowing I would never want to go there. And but I used them as leverage, and just kind of got Texas to keep upping my scholarship every time we talked. And then Coach Sean Allen was like, kind of like, hey, like every time we talk, I'm giving you more money or giving you more of a scholarship, and I don't really know like where's your head at with stuff like that. So I was like, let me talk with my family, and we'll let y'all know. And then he was like, all right, like no rush. I'm not telling you have to do this right now or whatever. Just take your time. And I was in my head, I was like, we're doing this. So I get off the phone, sit my parents down in the living room, tell them like, hey, like this is what we're doing. And my parents real supportive, you know, our entire lives, kind of like, if it's what you want, like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do everything to help you get there. And that's kind of how it was. I told them this is what I'm doing. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to take my talents to and stuff like that. So, got off the phone with him, talked to my parents for like 10 minutes, and then called David Pierce and was like, hey, like I'm gonna be a Longhorn. I want to be a Longhorn. And that was pretty much that.
Man, that's awesome. Okay, and Jaquae, you were committed to Houston Christian when Berkman was still the coach. And then he left. Is that what prompted your decision to not go there anymore? How did that play out?
So just in high school and stuff like that, I got recruited by Texas, A&M, just, you know, pretty much the Texas schools. And HCU ended up throwing out an offer. And at the time, you know, I'm young. I'm thinking about long term, thinking about, you know, my family, money-wise. So they had offered me a full ride. But I didn't really know much about the program. I didn't know much about, you know, his coaching history. All I knew was about his, you know, how he was as a player, and he was a hell of a player, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a visual learner. You know, I feel like every baseball player is, you know, you kind of need that one coach that's hands-on. So it's just going over there, you know, great guys, but I just felt like it wasn't for me, you know, and I learned the hard way. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had Texas, you know, and he was already going there, and I had him in my ear, stuff like that, and ended up going to Northwest. Hell of a program. We went to the World Series.
Yep.
You know, the coaches were hands-on, you know, almost like, and my head coach was kind of like Kevin Mitchell.
Okay.
And that's what made me enjoy my time there, is because the way Kevin is, and you can ask them, like, he's going to give you a hard time, but it's for what's best for you, right? To be great, you got to be coachable, and to be great, you're going to get yelled at, right? So I mean, just him always yelling at us and stuff like that, kind of got me ready for Northwest, I would say. So the head coach, Doug Martin, took me out of the game one time to basically give me prove his point. Like, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna do this. Like, this is my team. So that's what kind of it just made me grow up a little bit, right? So I was fortunate enough to have a great season. Had a really good season.
Really good season.
Yeah, really good season. I worked my butt off, and I was getting some offers from some schools. I got one from Kansas, Big 12, right? Was gonna get one from U of H. Talked to UTSA, wanted to get in contact with me and stuff like that. So, and then I was, just something was telling me to wait. And I told him every time we went to go eat, like, I want UT, man. I want UT. Like, I want to get them. And for me, that's my granny's favorite team and my grandpa's favorite team. So I waited. I was patient. And I got the call, like, well, we want you. We like you. Can you be here this next day? It's an automatic yes. So went there the next day. We visited everything, saw everything. Met the coaching staff, and like Schloss is there. Right? Yeah. So he was at A&M when he was recruiting me.
Okay.
So met the coaching staff and stuff like that, and it felt like home. And then being able to play with him again, so that just made it a no-brainer. So made my decision that day. I told him, like, that's just something I've been waiting for, and I told him it was a dream come true, which it was, working my whole life for that opportunity again, because I had missed it the first time. So yeah, that right there it meant a lot, and I knew it meant something too. My family and my dad Longhorn. Since he also had an offer from them for basketball when he was in high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Big toe.
But no, yeah. I mean, that's really my recruiting process. It wasn't easy. Being a first baseman and not being over 6 foot. I'm 5'10". Not many first basemen are 5'10". You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just the height playing a factor. You know what I mean? But if you, like my dad always told me, if you can ball, you can ball.
Exactly.
Right? If you can hit, you can hit, no matter what. So I feel like that's what has been giving me some time on the field is, my work ethic. I'm a great teammate. I'm coachable, but I hit. You know what I mean? And I kind of let go of the height thing already. Obviously at a young age, like, damn, everybody's 6 foot. He's 5'11". He's 6 foot. Blake's 6'1". Cannon's 6'3". Wyatt's 6'4". It's like, dang, shortest dude on the team. But just wanting it more. Wanting to do the extra work, hitting and all that. Like, I feel like that's what separated me, and they gave me the opportunity, and I took it. So
yeah.
It's crazy just to see them where they're at now, to get to play with each other and stuff. But I mean, like, growing up, best friends, and I mean, I wouldn't even say best friends. I'd say more like brothers.
Yeah.
And to get to see them, like, get to play with each other. I mean, they don't really hear from me a lot, but I'm so proud of them. I mean,
it's vice versa too, right? For Wyatt and him, it's that's everybody's dream, right? Is to play with your childhood teammate, and for him to get to do that with Wyatt, and also win a state championship, and for us to win a state championship, it's like, I feel like that's pretty cool, because you don't get that a lot.
Because we see what we do behind closed doors and all this stuff, but to get to see them get to do that, now me and Wyatt get to be teammates, like, it's just special.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling to have a biggest critic that's one of your best friends, right? Because it's like you're tired, you don't want to do nothing early in the morning, but we wake up and we go hit at 8 a.m. with Kevin, right? And it's like having that type of guy like that, though, it's just like, well, what time can we come here? Come at 8 a.m. I feel like that kind of, helps you. It's discipline, right? And to have people like us that push each other,
it's
like, well, all right, let's do 8 a.m. We'll go get something to eat real quick, and then we'll lift right after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we get
It's a
our
grind
things
for
done.
sure. Yeah. Like this morning, Rylan had to hit me about 2 times, get me up out of bed. It's tough, but like he said, having that as like your brother, your best friend, right there alongside as your biggest critic to push you and stuff. So
Yeah, that it goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, like same thing at Texas. I already told him, and I mean it too. Like I'm not gonna tell him anything I don't mean. Right, and I told him like I'm gonna be your biggest competitor, and it's just true. Like no matter where we've been in high school, you know, it's been us and Blake, always trying to be better than each other, right? Pushing each other. So I mean, it's the same thing now. Nothing's gonna change, and it can't change because who am I to not push the dude, right? Like I grew up with him, and I, you know, that'd be pretty messed up if I see him slacking or doing something. Same thing with me. If I'm slacking, he don't tell me nothing. Like I'm gonna be his biggest competitor.
Yeah.
And I told him like I'm gonna try to be better than you every day. And I would tell him that to his face. Same thing with him. He told me that to my face. I'm gonna be better than you today. Same thing with him. I'm gonna be better than you today. Like we all tell each other this type of thing.
Yeah.
But if you're an outsider looking in, like you'll think like, damn, why are they talking shit to each other? Right?
it's
Like,
all
no.
love, though. At the end of the day,
And you,
We're pussy.
we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And you're telling them that now, telling each other that now. Imagine we were in high school on the same team, and going back to that, like that's what made us good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's why we put ourselves in the spot we are in. But no, definitely. At the end of the day, you want to surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you, and at the same time have the same goals as you, and see things kind of in the same way you do. And I think that's why we're so close, and that's why we're going to continue to be close. Is just because we want each other to be the best version of ourselves and to continue to grow, not only on the field but off the field, and just continue to push each other and get better and see where this game takes us.
Yeah.
And there's so much tradition, right, at UT. And it's like, obviously I'm going to have to catch on a little bit, but, I'm trying to prove a point to those people, to the alumni, to the coaches. Like, I want to be talked about as the best teammate, the guy that pushes everybody, right? Regardless if I'm new or not, like, I want the best for this program because I'm in the program.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're over me. If you're starting over me and I'm the backup, like I don't care. Like I'm gonna be the best teammate. So just being the best competitor that I can be, I feel like that. Like I want that to go a long way. Like I wanted to get to the alumni where it's like, well, he's a great teammate like that. Like he's real good with the alumni and stuff like that, right? So hearing all that from him from these past few weeks, like telling me like, well, you have to get to know the alumni. I do this, I do that. Like that just shows like what they do behind closed doors. Like they're not just baseball players, just like they're bought into the program, they're bought into the community. Like there's just so much more behind it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what makes us into the people that we are today too. It's like in high school, it was the community. We did everything for the community, not like only for ourselves, but the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The little kids. It's just everything. You know what I mean? It's small town, right? Not many people from a small town can do what we did, but if you have people like us who are bought into the community, like shoot, and give back, like that just gives a small town hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just that's what we hope to do is just like build competitors into the community as kids, right? So for me, when I do lessons is I tell, the kids, like, so you're going to let him be better than you today? Just to kind of, spark something. Because that's what we did at a young age. Is we were always doing something competitive from coach pitch. You know what I mean? It's like, well, we're going to do this game. Whoever has the most doesn't have to run. And if this team loses, then you got to run. Stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think, like, the competitiveness and having that from a young age, like, I just, we got to keep that going. The same thing for them, which I know they'll do. So. But he's lucky because White's a pitcher, so I can only imagine how that's gonna go between them.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
me and White get to live with each other down there, so I mean,
that'll be
every
fun.
day, 24/7 with each other. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
If y'all did not know, Wyatt speaks Spanish now. So
Does he
Yeah.
really?
He's fluent.
he's
You won't even catch that guy speaking
Fluent.
English anymore, man.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, he's not the sheriff. No
He
more.
bought
He's
in.
El Cuh. El Cuh
Yeah,
Hawaii.
he really bought into that one video of him singing that Ramon Ayala
On
song.
the bus. Yeah.
From there, I mean, he's just
Yeah.
now he's speaking Spanish and stuff.
I
I mean, it's
love
crazy.
that.
That dude's wild.
In the group chat, we have a group chat. He's always like typing in Spanish. You're like, dude, like
Yeah.
speak English a little bit, man.
Back to recruiting, when right before you committed to Texas, I remember I texted you in like June. It was like 2 days after the World Series. I really wanted y'all to win. I mean, I'm sure you
Yeah.
wanted to win too, but
Should have won.
I remember texting you if you were gonna stay or what you were gonna do, and you said you were talking with your advisor to see what could come, what might happen, and so did you not get any interest from Texas until the coaching change happened?
So I think he said something about it. I had a few interests from everybody, even Missouri.
Okay.
So, and then the coaching change happened, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, I kind of had doubt. I was just like, my chances are probably going to be slim to none. And so my mind was made up on going back. Like, I had already told my coach, like, hey, I'm going to come back. Like, I'm ready. I want to win the national championship this year. And sure enough, as soon as I got off the phone with him, that following Sunday, they called me. So, I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of like, it was out of the blue. Like, because we were about to go to church. And
I was at the Frio.
oh, yeah, like all this happened like, right before church. So it was like for like 20 minutes, like I was getting on the phone. I was off the phone, getting on the phone with the head coach at Texas. Then I'm like, dang, like it's happening fast.
But the head coach, like
Or
when you're
the
doing,
assistant, my fault.
oh, but when you're doing that, was it Schloss's assistant or Pierce's assistant?
No, it was
Slosh.
Slosh.
Okay, so this is all
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
And then after they asked you to come visit and offer you, basically, when did you tell him?
But he knew.
I knew. Before.
Oh, really?
He knew.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? And then Coach Alnice sent me a text message too. And I'm like, dude, like I don't even want nobody to know. Like he's telling people or something.
Coach
Coach Alnice
yeah.
knew already too.
Yeah,
so.
Nolan Kane, who's the recruiting coordinator there. He called me that morning, and we're driving up to the Frio, and gave me a call when we got there, and he was just like, hey, we're going after your boy, and he didn't say Jaquae. I was like, who's my boy? And and he was like, we're gonna try to get Jaquae Stewart. We don't have a lot of left-handed bats. Jared Thomas just got drafted. First base position's open. It'd be nice to have a potential left-handed bat there. And he was like, what do you got on him? And I was kind of giving him pretty much the whole rundown, everything between me and him, and just kind of tried to make Jaquae sound as good as possible. But
It worked.
yeah. And then he was like, all right. And then he was like, yeah, we're going to try to get him on a visit here. So I went in Austin, so I called up one of my teammates, my roommate, Jalen Flores, the shortstop, and I was like, hey, it's not said and done yet, but Jaquae's probably going to head up there on a visit, take care of him, make sure he's good, whatever. And so, yeah, and then Kane called me or something and was like, hey, we offered him whatever, gonna get him up here tomorrow morning. And I was like, oh shit, all right. And Jaquae still hadn't called me or nothing. I was like, come on, dude.
I didn't tell.
He was trying to keep it low key. I was like, man,
No.
I was like, man, you
Ryan.
gonna. I was like, come on. So I called Jaquae, and they had already offered him. And in my head, I was like, well, this is done deal. You don't even have to go visit. You don't really even need to visit. I know he's coming. So I call him, and he answers. He's like, what's up, dude? And I was like, you ready to go to work or what? He was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I was like, come on,
I was
man.
playing dumb. That's funny. Yeah, because I didn't want nobody to know. It's just.
Yeah, because when you were texting me, I was in San Antonio, and you said, can you make me a video? And I was like, yeah, for sure. What do you need? And you're like, no one knows.
And I sent you that.
And he said, I just committed to Texas. And I was in my car, and I was like, all right. I was like, let's go. And then
that was I hadn't even told my family nothing. Like it was just.
You told Marcus?
Didn't even tell Toby.
No,
You hear that?
they were there.
Come
They
on
were
now.
there. No, I'm talking about like
extended.
Yeah,
family?
like I didn't tell nobody. Nobody knew.
I made the cut.
That's nice.
That's love right
He
there.
te- he
Your
texted
family
me-
now.
He texted me like an hour
Toby
later.
got to
Though.
cook you some brisket now.
ribs
But
now.
we didn't tell nobody. We were just kind of keeping it low key for a second, and I posted on Twitter. Hadn't even been 5 minutes.
I think I posted first.
Well, because he posted, he was like,
Oh
"Y'all
yeah.
gonna love this."
Yeah.
So I retweeted it, and then 30 minutes later, I did my commitment post on Twitter. Well, not even 5 minutes, man. Some dude screenshotted it and put it on Facebook, and I was like, "Dang!" Like, and I was literally about to post on Instagram first, and he beat me to it. And next thing you know, it was like my phone just boom.
So like before you announced that you committed on social media, you hadn't told family.
Yeah, that was my surprise to them, and everybody. Well,
That's how people find out things nowadays. Facebook.
No,
I know, right?
I sent it to them in the group chat first. I sent a picture of them. They're like, "Wait, shut up." I was like, "Yeah," like they're like, "You're lying." It's like, "How am I lying?" Like, what do you mean? So I was like, "I'm going. I'm gonna be a Longhorn," and everybody was excited, and then just like phone calls, texts. His phone, my dad's phone was blowing up. My mom's phone. So like everybody was on the phone at once, on the phone call, and I'm like, "Dude, like this is crazy."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it just took off after that. But I don't shout out to that one dude though, because I didn't have to post on Facebook. Because my parents are like, "You want to post on Facebook?" Nah. So he did it for me.
That's
we all
funny.
good. But yeah.
What did you do on your visit? What was your visit like? Just like, was it like a day trip? Like what?
Well, I got to see the tank, so it's our cafeteria.
Yeah, I've been in there.
That's pretty much the only thing that I hadn't seen. I mean, we went through the clubhouse when we had won. That year we had won state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we went through the clubhouse. We saw everything. Went to the tank. We saw the Hall of Fame thing.
At the bottom of the stadium.
Yeah,
It's at the
that-
Nez.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's real nice.
Yeah, it's
Good
real
football
nice. Saw took my photo shoot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I mean, we didn't have to see much. I had told them, like, yeah.
They didn't have to
I
do.
know.
They knew they didn't have to do too much. They knew it was in.
Yeah, I had already told
They
them.
didn't have to put out the cards. You know.
Yeah, I told him like, it was a done deal. So I talked to Schloss, and he kind of questioned me too about him recruiting me. A&M. I just told him I was dumb, really dumb, young, full ride to somewhere. But they were excited, and the hitting coach Troy Tulowitzki,
Yeah.
hell of a player.
Yeah.
And his mental game is
Oh, really?
his mental game though is like on cue. Like I like that about him. Like his mental game, he likes to preach like go get it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna beat me. So once he told me that, I was like, yeah, like that. This is exactly where I want to be. So it just made things 10 times easier to see how the coach staff was.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, it was an easy decision, really.
It's funny that he mentioned like Slosh talking about, hey, what happened at when he was recruiting him or whatever. But I mentioned earlier like our first visit was in 8th grade to TCU.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Slosh was at TCU.
Oh, was that? Oh, yeah.
So Slosh was actually the first coach to recruit us, and now actually getting to play for him. It's pretty cool.
So you basically already knew him,
A little bit.
both of y'all.
Had a conversation with him.
Okay. And then on your end, since you had already been at Texas 2 years, and then the coaching change happens, how does that work from the player perspective, like on the team? Is it basically like you can come back if you want, but if coach has a guy coming in, like he can give you the boot? Like how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much. He kind of when everything happened, I was in Cape Cod. I was playing
Mhm.
summer, and then had an injury, so I was able to come back in Austin and kind of be around when everything was going on a little bit. And that kind of, you never know. When everything blew up, and there was a lot of say, oh, the coach is this, the coach is that, but a lot of people don't realize the people that get affected by it the most are the players.
Mm-hmm.
And with coaching changes like that, you don't know if you have a job really or a spot on the team. He could have brought in a lot of guys from A&M if they ended up wanting to come over with him. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Even I felt like I had a pretty good year, my sophomore year, and was still pretty unsure like what his plans were, and then was able to talk to him. He called me and was just like, hey, like, really happy with the catching situation here, with you and even the backup, Kimball Schussler, and was like, if this is what you want to do and you want to stay, like, we're not going to recruit any other catchers, not going to get anybody out of the portal, not going to talk to anybody. Like, we want y'all here, you two guys, and we're happy with the spot. So fortunate enough for them to want me to come back and stuff like that. I mean, I know I want to come back anyways. No brainer. But yeah, it's a pretty scary situation for a lot of players. You don't know kind of where you're going to end up, or if they want you, if they're going to give you a shot to even stay. So, but I know we got a lot of guys coming in. So I think we got like, I want to say 48 players coming in the fall.
Oh,
with
wow.
the rule changes, I think there's like only like a 37-man roster, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of competition, a lot of players battling out in the fall. So it should be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I will say though, backtracking a little bit. Part of my recruiting process was, before I knew that I was gonna go the JUCO route, we actually scrimmaged A&M in the fall.
Okay.
And I believe I went 3 for 5. So that was kind of my little statement, like, you know, like I want to play at the higher level. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to be the best. So getting that opportunity to play against A&M, like, you know, everybody wants to play A&M. So I took advantage of that. And that week I trained like it was my last time ever playing baseball. So just doing that, because he brought that up on my visit, talking and stuff like that. So I knew like it paid off playing that well. So going the JUCO route, and then them playing that in the back of their head, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, he's at the JUCO route. Like, now we can get this guy.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to get my associates. I'm getting it this week, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it's the 4-2-4 rule. And so now I'm able to go back and play for them. So that really means something to me. It's like, you know, people do notice you when you do great things. Mm-hmm. So I know there's a lot of baseball players out there that, you know, work their butts off and, you know, feel like they're not being noticed. But, I mean, yeah, it's noticeable. You can tell. Just from you taking one really good swing that you've been practicing all week like that, it's progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I would rather go 0 for 4 with lineouts than 0 for 4 with pop-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is progress. And I know a lot of players don't think that is, but, you know, we're at the point in life where it's like, you know, everybody wants to hit bombs and that. But it's like, you know, you got to see the little things in your game, and it'll take you a long way. Like, you are noticed. And that's how I felt. So it felt good to feel like, you know, to see that they noticed me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And so just so that everyone listening understands, you spent the fall semester at Houston Christian.
Yeah.
And then you left halfway through the year, basically at the Christmas break. And then you went to Northwest Florida.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, crazy. 3 schools.
Yeah, that's true.
A year and a half. Yeah, crazy.
Everybody's got their own route.
Yeah.
Really, that's the kind of the special thing. And kind of knowing what I know now, like just kind of a message to the younger players and kind of getting recruited and stuff like that. Like, chase the opportunity. Not so much nowadays. Everybody's looking at, you know, how much money can I get from this school, or these schools going to pay me this, especially with the way NIL is kind of blown up. Everybody's looking for the paycheck. And at the end of the day, I'd say, you know, chase opportunity. You know, you might not have, you know, you might be getting recruited by some mid-majors, but maybe Texas gives you an offer of something very small, and, well, these mid-majors are willing to pay for your school and everything like that. And me, and just the way I think, I'd probably go to Texas with even the less money and maybe the less probably possibility of even playing, because you're chasing the opportunity and you want to put yourself in front of, at least give yourself the chance to say, hey, you know, I went to Texas, I gave myself a chance, I worked hard, I did everything I could, It just didn't happen for me. And I think that's the biggest thing kids need to realize now is they're kind of just chasing the money and stuff like that, chase the opportunity, because at the end of the day, you're all trying to get to a certain level and put yourself in the best position. And I would say, like, even like, everybody's path is different. And that's just, the beauty in it, being able to see, like with Jaquae and with Rene. And Rene will even tell you, like he said earlier, the JUCO route was the best thing he ever did. He grew so much.
I mean, even though, like, growing up, everybody's like, I want to go D1, I want to go D1. But, I mean, and then I had the opportunity to go JUCO, and I took that route. Looking back at it, best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
You really,
like he said, don't be scared to fail.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to fail.
Yeah, don't be scared to go go out there and bet on yourself. Take that.
Bet on yourself for sure.
When I say my prayers before every game, I kind of thank God, and I tell him that I appreciate my failures as much as my success, because if I don't fail, how am I gonna mold into the player that I want to be, right? So just sometimes Division I isn't always the best decision. Junior college is very competitive, because it's like at the end of the day, if you don't get out of there in 2 years, you're done, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, like Division I, you can get a red shirt, play 5 years, just different stuff. It's like JUCO, like it's a hit or miss. So I feel like that's why it's so competitive, because it's like, well, if I don't get out of here, you beat me. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of approach things is, if I don't get out of here this year, then that means you took everything away from me that I've been working for. And Rene can vouch for me. It's not easy. Not being able to see family every day or every week.
It's not an easy road. I mean, path to go down the JUCO route. But I mean, it's well worth it if you take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's well worth it. I mean, like, especially like, don't get discouraged with where you're at.
You're still at the next level.
Still have confidence in yourself. Still trust your ability and everything. Just because you're at the JUCO level, don't mean you're no better than the guy. Right.
You'd be surprised, man. There's so many Division I players in junior college that got hurt or just didn't have the grades. I mean, in Florida, you have UCF commits, Alabama commits, Georgia commits, like everybody, right? It doesn't matter where you at. If you can play, you can play.
Yeah.
I mean, you got in JUCO, you got guys throwing 100. You got guys throwing 97, and he can vouch for me on that. So it doesn't matter where you go. As long as if you play, you can play, and that's the end of the story right there.
It's working tail off, man.
Yeah, the JUCO scene has become, I'd say, even more competitive and stuff like that, especially with the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And it used to be a lot of guys coming from JUCOs. Well, now the opportunity has become more slim, because these big schools and schools like that they want to be good right away, so they're willing to take a chance on a guy that's already had the experience in Division I, that's probably had some success in Division I, and grab them. It's even getting a lot harder for high school kids, and at the college level, it's not so much about development anymore. They just want to be good right away, and stuff like that. So they'd rather bring in an older guy who they don't have to spend as much time on, and not have to wait maybe a year for them to develop and grow into the player that they know they probably could be. And JUCO guys are definitely, it's more competitive.
Jaquae's a perfect example of that. Like, he bet on himself. He was at Division I and then went JUCO, but then now with the situation of the transfer portal, like, it's really tough to get out.
Yeah.
But I mean, he trusted himself. He trusted his work, and it happened late. And he trusted it, and it happened for him.
It wasn't easy, right? Being in Florida, like, that costs money to, come and visit me and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So being on my own and kind of learning how to, kind of go through things by myself, you know what I mean? And just overcoming stuff like that. I feel like that's what, helped me mentally, because it's like, you have no time to feel sad or anything because you're away from home or away from family, because it's like JUCO, it's an everyday thing. Like, you're going. Yeah. It doesn't matter how long. Like, there's no rules, pretty much. You can be at the field for how long you want. Doesn't matter. Like I remember one time we played a whole game, right? And we played terrible. We had a practice after it, like a whole practice after. It was cold. It was drizzling a little bit, windy. You know what I mean? But I just feel like the JUCO route it forms you into a different type of player, right? It kind of brings a dog out of you, and I feel like that's like a JUCO term is be a dog, because if you're not, how are you gonna get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna escape? Like you can't, you know what I mean? And you see all these guys every day hitting, every day just long tossing doing some type of work, extra work. Me can vouch for me, you know what I mean? Going to a facility to go hit right after practice, stuff like that, right? It goes a long way. And like I said, being away from home and not having that extra, slap on the kick on the butt to tell me to go.
Yeah.
So you got to do it on your own. So get up and go. Like on Easter, everybody's enjoying their time with the family and stuff like that. Like everybody's going to the beach. I knew I had something bigger. I knew I had something that I had to work towards, right? So on Easter, I'm in the cage. You know what I mean? I'm getting swings by myself. I'm thinking. It's because when I hit, I like to think, right? I don't think about just baseball. Like I think about life, right? So I'm the type of guy that plans ahead. So and I envision things for myself. So I envisioned going somewhere, but I didn't know where I was going to land.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be able to get an offer from Texas, and that just kind of, brought me back down to earth. It's like, you now looking back, like you doing all that, even when you're tired and you didn't want to, 8 a.m. weights, loading the bar up. It's like, that's why you got here. But it doesn't mean that you stop, right? Same thing for him. It's like, JUCO players kind of have that switch. It's like, all right, well, now we gotta keep going. Because it's like, like I said, how are you going to make it out if you don't work? That's it. That's the thing. That's hard. Like he can vouch for me too.
Yeah, definitely. Building like that, the JUCO route definitely built like the mentality, the mental side, the mental side of my game, which made me a better ball player. Yeah. Not really the physical part of it, but the mental side of it helped me deal with failure, the ups and downs, stuff like that. Able to just keep going out there every single day and keep working. So it's definitely helps build you mentally.
Yeah. I think in a lot of ways it's probably very similar to the minor league grind when you start playing pro.
Yeah.
Literally the exact same.
Yeah.
It's the exact same because you haven't made it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to get there.
Still out where we're at. Still haven't made it yet. Still working every day. Still going out and just keep trying to move up.
Yeah. So you and Wyatt are living together.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna live together?
No. No. Look, I love this guy. He's my best friend. Grew up with him. Everything. But 24/7. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 24/7 Koi. Shoot.
It'd be bad for me. Like this, you don't even know. I'm not even gonna go into it.
What is your favorite thing about Austin?
I would say just how connected obviously the community and the entire city is into Longhorn athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mean everybody knows UT and UT, but just the way how everybody is so involved and so invested into the teams, and Jaquae's going to see it, how even other sports support other sports.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we want to elevate the university and take the university to new heights. So I'd say that the support behind it, go different places, out to eat, stuff like that. See people in the community are always rooting. It's a big family, so I'd say that's probably the biggest thing I like about Austin. Obviously, there's so many things you can do and get yourself involved in, and stuff like that. But I'd say that's probably my favorite
I'd
thing.
have to agree with that. I said it with Larissa. I was doing the thing with Larissa. Yeah. And I was saying that's what stuck out to me the most is being a small town kid and having everybody involved. right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, from going to state, you got the whole town sending you away, right? It's the same thing over there. It's, big games, you got the whole city out there, right? Tailgating, stuff like that for the football games. It's just things like that can compare to your high school and your small town. That just makes you feel more comfortable with, how the team is, the bond with the university and the players, just stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that goes a long way.
Definitely, yeah. But it's a little bit of a culture shock, especially
Oh yeah, I can
right off
imagine.
the rip. But I mean, it's just part of growing up and stuff like that. You get used to it, your surroundings and stuff like that. It's really like a home to me now.
Mm-hmm.
I got I share a house out there with 2 other teammates, and being out there just kind of feels like home for sure.
That's awesome. Have you gotten to spend much time down in the valley?
I was over there during Christmas break this past Christmas break. Got to go down there. We know some guys down there, so we got to go there and train and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know the area of Edinburgh pretty well, and I like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the food.
Yeah.
Ready to go down there and get some food. You know what I mean?
There's
He's gonna come back speaking Spanish.
That's the thing over there in
That's the
Austin.
thing about
Rylan don't like
It
it.
was just the Mexican food is just not
That's not it. That's not what Austin's about.
We got black beans and stuff. It's,
Austin is just, it's like I don't know, it's like its own mix of
it's just
good food, but not
it's
not
the
Mexican
Tex-Mex
food.
out there.
Yeah.
There's definitely some good food though.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks to Delios, bro.
yeah, I'm gonna get some tamales. That was always growing up, the Delias tamales for holidays, Thanksgiving,
New
Christmas. Yeah, for Thanksgiving you had your turkey and ham, and then your tamales.
It sounds like
So,
Delia's needs a NIL deal with y'all.
I know, right? That'd be crazy.
I don't need it.
Yeah,
Stay away from that. What you mean?
but I mean, keep going on into it. Like, what's talking about us? But what's the big plans you got coming up?
The wife
Got the wife moving into a new house.
Yeah, congratulations to y'all.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, pretty busy past year for me. I got married in December. There in Corpus. My wife, she's an athletic trainer at Teloso Midway, so she knows. At this point, I know all the coaches there too, pretty much. But yeah, so she's basically on a coach's schedule. Has to be at practice and games and stuff. So she enjoys it. This is her second year there. It's funny. We bought a house off of he's a friend of ours. I knew him for 7 years, and I used to actually go to his house for a small group Bible study my freshman year of college, and I never imagined that I would own the house. But it's over off of Ennis Jocelyn there in Corpus, and it's a pretty cool little neighborhood. We weren't expecting to buy a house this soon, but the way it worked out, like it just like all fell into place like really, really perfectly. Like couldn't have asked for a smoother way to buy a house. Like it worked out really well. So we're in the process of getting some furniture and moving in, and we've moved out of our old house that we were renting, and all our stuff's there. It's just kind of in piles right now. So it's organizing and getting the furniture and stuff. But other than that, I'm going to Austin later today to shoot a video for a cousin of mine tomorrow. Anytime I'm in Austin, my best friend lives there. He lives in like Hyde Park area, kind of near Hancock Golf Course.
Oh, so do mine.
No. But anytime I'm there, we wake up and we go run around the lake there downtown. We run the trail around. It's basically from like you park at Barton Springs.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you run.
It's
along the river, lake, whatever.
It's Lake Travis Lake, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Lake Lake, whatever you want to call it. And then you go up on Mopac underneath, and then you go across on Cesar Chavez. And then you come on one of those like mini pedestrian bridges, and you come back and it's like a full loop. It's like however many miles or whatever. But yeah, we run that at like 6 in the morning whenever we're there. Hey. And we go so early because if you go swim at Barton's free before 8. Yeah. And like I don't like to pay for things that don't need to be paid for. So so it's the best way to cool off. But anytime I'm in Austin, I go swimming at Barton. Like the only thing
you go in the pool or you go on the other side in the river.
I go in the pool. Yeah. Anytime like any kind of fresh water, I will swim in 100%. I don't really care to swim in salt. I hate salt water. I hate
Same way,
sand.
dude.
Water's disgusting.
You get out, you get that feeling.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just,
not a beach person at
me
all.
either. We went to the beach this past weekend with some friends, and we went on our honeymoon in the beginning of the month to Costa Rica,
Oh yeah.
and we swam in the ocean there because like it was really nice. And I swam in it here, and the water was really clear. It was actually a really nice day at the beach this past weekend, but it was like, I think I've warmed up to the ocean a little bit, like because of Costa Rica, but it's just not the same. Like I'll take fresh water all the
Yeah,
time.
Van Destin, it's like, wow. I was showing the pictures today actually of the beach over there. Oh, it's just really.
Man, sharks, dude. You hear about the
That
one
too.
in South
Dude,
Padre?
did you see the picture?
No, I didn't see it. Don't even show me because then I'd never step in the ocean again.
Bro, yeah.
Well, that's why I don't swim in the beach.
No, it's
That
like
ain't for me. Oh no.
Yeah, y'all beach.
It's
shit.
like the whole like like a cartoon when you see the chomp, like a
Yeah.
shark takes a bite and it's like a chomp. Like that was her leg. Like this, all of this was like gone.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but see, like
It was crazy.
Count me out right there.
that's why I don't mess with the water. Yeah, I'll go fishing. I'll go fishing.
Yeah, I go fishing a lot, but go fish for some bass. Don't ever go fishing with Toby
Yeah,
because
then I go fishing with
he'll
my
tell you
dad.
he'll tell you he put you on fish.
Toby
But
Stewart, we went out, woke up
Toby Stewart.
early. We're talking about before the
Sun
sun
coming
come
up,
up,
dude.
5 a.m. And we wake up, and it's like 3 days straight. And he's like taking us out. And it's like we leave the house at 5. We don't get back to the house like till noon, 1 o'clock of that day. And we're going to different spots. He's like, dude, guaranteed cash here. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Hey, I tell you what though,
We didn't catch
hell
one
of a
fish in
barber.
3 days.
Hell of a barber.
Oh,
hell of a
yeah.
barber, but not a
But
fisherman guy.
He is
Don't.
a trash fisherman, man.
Yeah, shout out Can't Be Faded.
Can't be faded. 3921 Air Street. Y'all go see him.
Go see him.
And be like, but every time we go, he's the only one that gets something. So one time he got a stingray, and that was it.
There was one time we went. We're off some. Where were we at? No, dude, I threw the line out. It was running back in, caught a turtle. It was the first thing we have caught from like 5 in the morning to like 1 in the afternoon.
I threw it, and I got the turtle. And this dude jumps in the water.
I jump in the water. I'm like, let's go! Like we got a turtle, and then there's people like looking at us like
Like save the
apparently
turtles.
you're not supposed to
Wait,
catch turtles. Catch turtles or nothing. But that was the first thing we'd seen all day.
This
Yeah.
dude, and then I let him hold the rod or whatever, and as soon as I gave it to him, just took off. He reeling it in. I'm like, bro, these people are looking at us crazy.
We had a shark on.
That thing was fighting though, but we didn't mean to do it though.
Yeah.
That was
Fishing's fun though. I got into it when I was at Tyler this past year with buddies. Just go ride around and find
Yeah.
water spots, golf courses and stuff. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Definitely a way to get you away from. Because I mean, we're always at the field 24/7. It's a good way to get your mind off. Because you need that break sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah, it is okay to take a break. Literally.
And just to find that steady balance between baseball and life.
Mhm.
And I remember my freshman year, Bo Bichette came in and he trained,
Mhm.
and we had a meeting with him, and he kind of talked about, just finding, especially he's obviously the highest level and stuff like that, but this game is such a mental game. It can take a toll on you in a very deep way. It can kind of consume your entire life and the decisions you make outside, And that, you never like to be around those guys that have a bad day at the field and then they take it over to home, and
Yeah.
you're living with roommates and they don't want to go to dinner or eat out or hang out with friends because they're pissed about their performance on the field. So just being able to separate that, and Bo Bichette, I remember him saying, as soon as he walks through those doors and leaves the facility, he's no longer a baseball player. And he doesn't talk about baseball. He doesn't if he's with a group of teammates outside the field and they're talking about baseball, he's like, hey, stop. I don't want to talk about that. Which is crazy. Even Bo Bichette at the highest level,
Yeah.
you think those guys are crazy about it, and it's
Living
only
dream.
24/7.
Baseball.
Now that I
But-
think about it, we would actually do that. Like, let's say if we didn't have that type of performance that we wanted to have, we go eat and we're fine. Like, we let
Yeah.
everything go. Now that I think about it,
It was easy like that in high school because, I mean, you grew up with the guys, so you're with your boys growing up. So, I mean, we have game air out.
Yeah.
Fortunately, didn't have much of something like that always with the wins and stuff. But still, like, even when guys had bad games, it was always get around the guys, and it was like
Nothing happened.
nothing happened.
Yeah, everything's just fun.
Always just,
good time.
Yeah.
Like we said, Jemima Molina.
it's always a good time.
It's definitely harder. It's a lot easier said than done, obviously, but it's definitely harder at the level, especially being at the JUCO level. I can imagine like having a bad game.
I'd talk to Rylan
through your head.
I talked to Rylan like I had a bad game, and I give him a call and stuff, and I'll be like, dude, like I'm sitting. I go back to a dorm, cement walls. Feels like them walls caving in on you, and it's just like, you know, I give him a call, talk to him, and get my mind off stuff, and it definitely helps a lot having the balance life and baseball. You gotta have a balance. You can't just have one over the other, you know. So yeah, it definitely helps you deal with failure.
Yeah, even with practice, it'll be a lot. Practice is a lot. You know, constantly at it, going and going. Like you said, you need to draw that line of
because you hear the
baseball and life.
You hear the term used all the time, have a short-term memory with failure, and that's just a way to get it off your mind. You have your buddies, you have your hobbies, you have stuff you like to do off the field, and definitely keep that because you don't want to be consumed by the game.
At the end of the day, we're playing this game. We're continuing to play the game we continue to love. You know, there's a lot of other things, a lot of people aren't as fortunate as us that they're having to do, you know, working 9 to 5s and stuff, but we get to get up every day, go to school, and go play baseball. Like, 21 years old, you know.
So, wouldn't have it either way. What else would you have it, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, sweet. Yeah. I'll let the record show. I am a Texas fan.
And a UTRGV fan.
Growing up. Hey, you're going to get pictures and stuff when you guys come play here. They're not going to get anything.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
When you guys play down the road from where I live now.
I get to get them good shots, you know.
He did
you and Wyatt.
Definitely try to make a video or something. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I grew up a TCU fan when Schloss was there because Mike, Daniel's dad, would show us like those TCU videos that they would make like at the beginning of every season, like a hype video. And so I was a TCU fan. But because I do like photo and video stuff and like branding and all that, I pay attention to like, again, like how we talked about before, like the creatives and like at different levels and the quality of stuff. I started paying attention to that, and Texas just has like the best photo, video, like for like everything. So I was like, all right, like I like their branding, and like I really have no reason to not be a Texas fan. I know I'm not an A&M fan. That's for sure. Like I know I'm not that.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm a Texas fan. Like let's
Landon Southern. Man,
let's not get into all that crazy stuff.
He is our biggest critic, man. He's funny. He's the biggest A&M fan ever, and I know he be giving him a hard time about that stuff. He's funny.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much for coming on, Jaquae. Thanks for pitching the idea to have them on too. Sure. I would have tried to have them on at some point, but it worked out to where all three of y'all are here.
Yeah, appreciate
the invite, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
I know that people are gonna love this one. So a lot of fun stories in here.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully they do enjoy it.
But yeah, well, cool guys. Like I said, great to see y'all. Best of luck at your new school, your new head coach. But I know it's gonna be a blast since y'all are gonna have friends there, and you're gonna get to play baseball, go to school, all those fun things. So enjoy it. It's gonna be an awesome time. I'm looking forward to watching all of you again, keeping tabs on y'all, and looking forward to seeing you guys when y'all are playing here in Corpus. Maybe even y'all if y'all come play at Whataburger Field.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so we're all very proud of you guys, the way that y'all have grown up and represented Sinton and just South Texas as a whole. So keep playing. We love watching you guys. And again, thanks for coming on. Everyone, thanks for watching. We appreciate if you're watching or listening. But yeah, we'll ideally try to get one more guy on here before the fall semester starts. and then we'll be back to it. And then before you know it, pro off season will be here, and we'll get some pro guys on again. But thanks again for all the support. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.